Welcome back, everybody, and more importantly, welcome aboard! Welcome aboard the pseudoscience train. The pseudoscience train is leaving the station. We're gonna do it all rumbled up into a ball. We're gonna do a Quickview, Redux, this versus that, semi-scientific, tire testerific, all at once. We got the brothers, the jungle. We've got two tires that are close, so very close to identical. But one is a Duratrax Approach CR in Duratrax C3 compound, and this is the famous, infamous Amazon clone of the Duratrax Approach. I love it when a manufacturer of whatever sort that they might be takes it upon themselves to duplicate, clone, or knock off a tire that, like, nobody knows. Nobody knows the Duratrax Approach. The Louise Champ / Duratrax Deepwoods saw a lot more popularity and a lot more exposure than the Approach did, which, you know, in full Duratrax spirit, like, these are just kind of, you go to the supermarket and you think, I want some ordinary ice cream, please. And they've got French vanilla, vanilla bean, and what's another one? How about vanilla? That's what we are. Yeah, I would call Deepwoods the vanilla bean. So on the clone, relative to the real one, you will notice what I would call a little bit of cougarization. The Panther Cougar is a tire that has a huge gap in the middle, almost to the point where, like, the gap is the width of these, to the point where it almost behaves like two tires. This is a very conventional, what is that? Get out of here. That is a very conventional lug spacing. It is very similar to what's on there. God, I'd really never noticed how stunningly similar they are. So, real approach, fake approach, we have identical wheels, albeit in different colors. This one is silver, and this one is gold. Orange? Orangey, but it's goldish. Goldish and silver-ish. We get about 10 grams more per corner on these, because when you pick them up, you can feel there's more firmness to the rubber on here. They are fitted with identical inserts. Canyon Custom Softs in the front, 2 wraps of fridge foam. Canyon Custom Mediums in the rear, which are hair buns. I don't have nearly enough inserts to outfit them all with softs. We've been doing a lot of tests with all softs, so yet another, we're throwing it back a little. The genuine Duratrax is 116, I would say, by a usually fairly chunky 49.50, right thereabouts. They're a little, some folks had said in the past that they're not a big fan of Duratrax tires because they have that, right? They're chunky boys. The Canyon Trail has a similar profile. There are a lot of tires with a profile similar to that. Meanwhile, the fakes are down in that, like, I would say 46 millimeter wide, so a couple millimeters narrower. And height-wise, do they take it back on the height? Yes, they do indeed take it back on the height. They are about 118. So this is much more typical of what we would see in a Class 2, J-Concepts Pro line, you name it. Meanwhile, this one is sitting just, like you can see, there's a little bit of a difference in a profile. These have identical inserts in them. You can see a little more square edge and a little more rounded edge. So it's not a clone, it's not a copy, we would call it a knockoff. These are gone. You cannot buy the Approach anymore. To my knowledge, you may still, depending on your source and place where you go to buy sorts of things like this, you might be able to find these. These were available on Amazon for a very short period of time for the lofty price of $12 per set. $12 per set of 4. And they did really well, and of course, predated the current tire testing protocol. Because I have this thing about the natural color wheel, and that blue and orange are complementary colors, we are fitting the younger brother Zaymot with orange, as he is blue, and who does not like blue and orange together? Now, if you submit yourself to blue and orange for too long of a period of time, you can indeed subject yourself to what is called optical exhaustion. Have you ever done one of those little things where you stare at a point and then the colored image turns black and white, or vice versa, because your eyes are doing the tricksy things that human eyes can do? If you have a panel of bright blue on one side and a panel of bright orange on the other side, and if you stare at them for long enough, they turn gray. It's kind of neat and yet terrifying at the same time. The human being is a mystery. So we've got blue, and this is not enough blue and orange to optically exhaust you. It is also not a saturated enough color. But right, like blue and orange, they go. They definitely work. As we get the red brother, and then, you know, red and silver, classic. I would also be remiss if I did not point out, here at this juncture in the rambling about, before we head outside to ramble about, we have gotten a performance upgrade. You will notice these have been converted. We're RHD now. We are right-hand drive, because these were originally on clone OD3 gearboxes, our test brothers here. And the OD3 put the motor on the right-hand side of the vehicle. They were converted over to Stealth X for ease of use, like, if I need to change the pinion, it's right there. It takes like 10 seconds. Changing the pinion in an OD3 gearbox takes 15 minutes. You have to remove the gearbox from it's a whole thing, basically. Let's put it that way. So because the battery used to be over here and the driver was also here, it was way overweighted on the driver's side of the vehicle. So we put the speed control and the receiver on this side, battery and driver on the other side. And now they are evenly divided on weight. And they were outfitted identically. These are RC four-wheel drive. What are they? PRP. Little very lightweight seats. They're holding little wheels. They are as close as is practicably possible to get to the same weight, the same distribution. And in the same breath that I say that, well, okay. In the breath following the breath that I said that, we are going to make the blue guy 40 grams heavier. And there's not a thing we can do about that, because the fake tires are 10 grams heavier each, because they are thicker and it's not the same compound. It is the same tire, but it also isn't. Think of it as a stunt double. When you see behind the scenes footage of some movie and there's the stunt double and you're like, man, that guy looks startlingly like Brad Pitt. As long as you don't look too close. That is the situation we have here with the approach and the fake approach. Luckily, the tire test sheet has 2 columns on it, 10 rows and 2 columns, and we will be testing the usual 10 things. We're just going to do them back to back them. And I have fears, one way or the other. I have a fear that it's going to take the exact same amount of time as an ordinary Quickview, or I have the fear that it's going to take twice as long as an ordinary Quickview. But you know what? We're here for double the fun, and who better to bring us the full experience of double the fun than the twins, Red and Blue, Tomax and Zaymot, testing the approach and the not approach. And that is indeed why I mounted them facing out, so that you can see clearly the red brother on the approach, the blue brother on the not approach. What we will do now is go to actual rocks, and we will experience those together as a collective, and it will be, as one would say from the Emerald Isle, absolutely grand. So before anyone jumps up to holler it, and if you already have, I didn't hear you. Yes, the approach is the Louise Ardent CR, same tire. Those are still available. And the beauty of revisiting and re-evaluating Duratrax Louise, what is it, Fast Tracks, they are less expensive than other tires typically, which was why I was so surprised to see the clone of the approach, because I think when I bought the approach they were $22.99 a pair, something like that. They're a good bit cheaper. I mean, at least $20 a set cheaper than the next step up. Well, if you're not counting Canyon Trails. And they have always shown themselves to be very nearly as good as a Deep Woods. We do, we gotta do a little rumble around. We gotta do a little rumble around because those inserts gotta set. We gotta make sure we got beads locked in. Oh, have these degassed in the box? There is a significant amount of less grip. There's significantly less grip in these. Oh, these are just sliding away. So, this is also a... yeah, there's... You got to put a lot more in there. Yeah, that's a point. That's a point to the real deal by a good bit. And this is the beauty of the this versus that. This is why the twins exist. It's because in an ordinary situation, you do not get to do this. Even if you take a test rig, say baseline, and you move the tires from, you swap one set out and swap another set on, still takes a couple minutes. There's something about the human brain, about immediacy, about how we process immediacy. Like that, I did that and now I do this. Oh yeah, there's way less grip. A little more wheel speed. There we go. And by way less grip, I mean like, okay. I gotta give points. And I gotta look at tenths. I gotta look at points and tenths. So on the red for this, what am I looking at? There's more responsiveness to the red. Steering response. Let's see if we can get it biased. Okay, all right. I saw what I saw. We'll go straight back at it. Yeah. Realistically, this is it's like 2/10. It's like 2/10 between the two. But so far the red is and here's the deal. We go to 10 stations. If it's 2/10 10 times, quick math, that's 2 full points. 2 full points of differential is, in the terms of the tire test protocol, huge. There's a complete non-collision between the things I need to do and the things I have done. I need 2 rigs of a sort. I need a little portable end table for the radios for when I'm driving these 2 guys. And I need an apparatus to carry these 2 guys, because trying to carry 2 rigs and 2 radios, even if your hands are big. I knocked a trim way off to one side. Yeah, it's so odd to me that cosmetically and physically so close to the Deep Woods, but just not basically not there. I don't think we're gonna get over. No, we're just gonna ruin that body is what we're gonna do. And I say to myself facetiously, what is going on with his body? What is going on? Did he break shock towers again? Oh, come on. The fall was not that bad. Yeah, we have ripped the tops off of the acrylic shock towers again. Did I redesign them? No. Again, wow, this settles in nicely to things I should have done and things I haven't done. Okay, let me get through this part and then we will repair those shock towers. Oh, it was Blue last time that broke his, so this is different. Now see right there? That was way better. This is an absolute reversal of the first time through. And then it goes right back to flailing. Oh, little less wheel speed. That's more wheel speed dependency than I would like. But yeah, what we saw good from the real approach at Slick Rock completely flipped to the fake ones over here. Tell me that body's okay. I got to do something about these shock towers. It is convenient and lazy to cut them out on a laser, but not 100% sure it's working. If you ask me if it's fixed, I have no real genuine idea. If you ask me if it's repaired, yes, absolutely. It is absolutely repaired. I think I got the body outside the mount. We got to get back into the mindset here. Rocks will have warmed up a little. Tires will have warmed up a little. That's going to help all around. Oh yeah, his body's definitely out. As I said, repaired. Yes, fixed. I don't know. We may well still have the problem. Well, there's a lot of dust coming off of them. Just so much better right there. Not, okay. Comparatively, relatively, it's not earth-shattering stuff here. Yeah, because we get right there. It's just grab. It's trying to find it. It's trying to find it. Yeah, there's a lot of slip. Do we bother with a gut shot? We might as well try it. Really wide on the push. Ooh. The thing of it is, the genuine approach is not feeling appreciated. Better there. Yeah, that's just better. The right-hander to blue, the left-hander to red. I don't know. This is a strange affair. I don't see a winner in this yet. Okay. About the amount of slide I would anticipate. I feel like lug noise is picking up somehow. It has that right amount of slide. That was no steering input. That was just up and over. Pretty stable there. On the cutback, pretty good. It's more sidey slidey than what I want to see, but yep, a lot of lug noise. That amount of stability combined with that amount of lug noise is not common. Also, blue is getting louder and louder than red. I don't know why that is. Yeah, this is more, it doesn't have the slidey. I had to put a little steer into it. This is interchangeable. Interchangeable. They do act a little what is the term I'm searching for here? It's not the energy return that you would see from a bump. Not elastic? Like, the compound is definitely softer, but the presentation of that compound in this carcass, perhaps because of the lug spacing, it makes the tire feel harder than it is. Which means someone undoubtedly in the comments is going to go cut some lugs. No. No. We are, what is this, 4? 3. At station 3, they're already not worth cutting. They're not going to get better enough. I'm genuinely surprised. And it's not a front-rear differential thing. Like, it's not that a medium in the rear is acting too firm. If anything, it improved the side hill performance. Just, they have a tractional profile that is less desirable than what you get from a Deep Woods or a Champ. And that, as I, being they, would say, is that. Now, hopefully, we're really going to get into it. Okay. Straight to a shuttle. I feel like we're getting more lug noise out of the Genuine article than we were before. There's not as much traction in these as what we would hope for. And there's a lot of energy return in them, which means we might get some improvement with a really soft insert, but on the, that amount of fallback on the day here. All right. I'm isolating. The approach are punching well below their capability, I feel. Yeah, they do not like moderate to any. They don't like anything past about 60% throttle max. They're happiest in like a 30 to 50% range. They don't respond remarkably well to super slow. Better, but not great. And they do not like big amounts of throttle input. They just spin. The lugs just float over the surface. Meanwhile, these a lot of lug noise there. Sound is power lost. So that's the sound of traction not being had. Now these seem to respond to an even smaller amount of throttle input, but they don't really have the grip to take full advantage of it. Coming down that front side on the beast, there was like sliding. We were just sliding. It wasn't drag brake. We were sliding. There's a real fine line where you can give it just enough throttle and you will start to get some forward purchase, but that forward purchase can and will fall away from you. Oh. It'll get there. It is just not pretty doing it. Yeah, it's like we're running on different surfaces. It's like they're getting wet and then drying. They're getting dusty and then they're cleaning. I don't know if this is a sit in a Rubbermaid bin for a year and degas. They feel harder than they were before for sure. I'm gonna go with a, yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. It's such a different experience driving each set. I yearn for the shade. Okay, boys, get through this as quick as you can. And then again, that was pretty strongly all right. And then just, okay, all right. No, always feels kind of out of control, like it's on the edge. All right, that was moderate. That was maybe one of the best little passes that we've seen. I got camera creep. God, it's 90 degrees out. All right. Oh, yeah, the fall away. Oh, the fall away is substantial. Yeah, that's just an outright failure on that. If there's a surprise so far on the day, the surprise is how poorly they're both doing. I did not, okay. And then the surprises come, yet more surprise on top of the surprise. Generally, an excess application of throttle right there is not going to pull you over. And then turns in tighter there, so that's better there. Feels the same kind of bouncy, loosey, goosey, giving it away, giving it away, giving it away now on the way down. Can't even get into the placement. Got it. Come on. Okay. Now how's the fall away on this side look? Better, but not better. Better, but also not. They failed the exact same way, doing the exact same thing. They are going to get the exact same number, at least for this, and probably for the whole thing. We also got to keep moving because this could be the first camera overheat day of the season. We should have been done some time ago. Okay? Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Surprising. The best it's done at anything. By a margin. That was, I expected flailing. At least on soft side, on the left side. See, just a little bit less traction, but still does it. Oh. No, that's a bad shuttle. Yep, this is going to be it. Unless something miraculous happens and I don't see it. The real deal has won already. Yeah. Cannot pull it. Can't pull it. All right, we already got this guy in position, so. The bump is better than expected. Yeah. And these are wide open. There's not quite as much traction. We are down on traction, but it's not returning the energy. So the bump is coming out really smooth. And there is more drive in the real one, but there's not a mountain more drive. And, ooh, okay. All right. All right. It's almost identical. I'm not used to seeing rollback here. Did I hit the trim on that too? Okay. Yeah. That was indistinguishable in terms of the bump. And the bump is pretty solid. There's a chevron pattern to the tread, so we pull straight. Self-right on these boys. Tucks are not explicitly great at self-righting. We're gonna cheat and use a little bit of dead grass here. Oh no. Okay. We don't want to get up. Is the bumper too high? Can we get into him? Yeah, that should technically, theoretically be writable. You know, we have to take the tuck into account a little bit. There is enough shoulder lug that we can get a self-right in there, but it is pretty easy to turtle out. Nothing to do with the wheel tire. This body is not particularly suited to self-righting. There we go. Oh, he picked up a lot of dirt. He picked up a lot of dirt right there. That window is just tan now. Yeah, those were identical. Self-right, yeah. On the bump. All right. I've got, on the sheet, I've currently got, the real thing is about 6/10 ahead right now. So it's definitely not a blowout. I don't know if it was on one of the cameras, I didn't catch it, but Red's battery fell out. Oh, that was, yeah, again. Is the approach the T word? Is it a trail tire? I've always kind of thought on some level that the deep woods, I mean, it's not, its name isn't like the granite. Its name is Deep Woods. It just happens to be good at rock crawling. This feels exactly identical. If I couldn't hear the slight difference in noise from the one compared to the other, I wouldn't know. If they were both running silver wheels and you switched bodies, the only thing that I would be able to tell the difference by would be the sound of the two. We gotta get more grease in the blue guy, I guess. Try to get him down to, this guy's positively stealthy, no pun intended. Yeah, now on dirt and broken up stuff like this, they both prefer a bit more sauce. They want a little more sauce. Yeah. But they'd be really good at this. So I'm at a real crossroads point here, which is, I think this is what they're best at. I think some mixed surface. I do not think that they will clear as well as a deep woods. We've tested deep woods full wet, full mud, and when you're off of rock, whether it be clean or dusty, when you have the fake one and the real one, indistinguishable. I mean identical. Turn-in feels the same. Steering response feels the same. The transitioning from the dirt to the stone feels the same. It all feels the same. You could have swapped tires on me and I wouldn't have been able to tell. So we've got a preliminary
score where we add up everything minus wet rock. And there is a positive takeaway for the clones. Yeah. These tires do not respond well to too much throttle. They want a very specific amount of throttle, and this is not something unique to either your approach. There's a lot of tires that behave that way. They have a real throttle band that they like to live in. I don't like that if I can avoid it. Let's see if we get the same exact fall spot. Yep. All right, so we used a real slow left-hand wrap right here. And then it had enough to pull over. Yeah, that's that. Those couple tenths across the board. When the fake approach was young, we got some pressure in there. We might as well soak it down. We're definitely not coming back out here today. It's gonna be too hot. Oh, I was gonna say it wasn't a huge drop off, and then we got a couple revolutions of the tires. Some tires act like it's a D-dust. That is your prototypical 2/10 drop in grip. We'll sidle over. Try the left-hander, it's a little easier. Exact same spot. It's gonna flop at the exact same spot. And it does. So I did sort of the usual. We have that interpolation. So red lost 2/10 on wet versus dry. Look how fast Slick Rock is drying out. It's basically dry already. We are hot and dry out here right now. The genuine Duratrax approach ends the day at 91.9 and 1 point lower for the fakes at 90.9. As you may or may not know, the unofficial official cutoff line here is 93. If you're sub 93, there are some tires that are still usable, like they might have a purpose. But in general, there are so many tires in the 94, 95, 96 range that we tend to just not look. You could get another point out of both. I don't think that no matter what you try, I would like to say that the approach were initially tested when I tested them the first time on an open cell single stage. So we're gonna get more forward drive and bad side hilling, etc., etc., etc. It's just trading points in one column for points in another. So there's absolutely no blow away here. And with 1 point differential between the two, your choice of insert or your rig weight or your terrain or any number of other, I thought I felt something. He won't come out either. Let's see, will the camera pick this up? There he is. He won't come out. I felt something on my head. Okay. He will not come out, little friend. So that point differential, in the instance of the approach and the fake approach, I would consider them almost interchangeable. Like, they have definitely degassed. They felt a little more consistent from my dim memory of it when they were tested the first time. But it was 1 point a blowout is not. And if there's a victory for the fake approach, it's that it is 90 some odd % of the real thing. What is a 1 point differential out of 91? 191th, 0.9% differential between the two? Or is that 1.1%? Let's call it 1.1% differential between the two. I know for a fact that if you can find approaches or if you're going to buy Ardents they're going to cost more than the fake ones. You can get very nearly the same amount of performance out of the fake ones, particularly if you're going to use them in a sort of trail or a mixed environment. For pure rock crawling, I would not consider either. And for some sort of trail environment, something that you're not specifically looking for super exotic compounds that are going to gas out in a year or two and really high level stuff, then, you know, if you can find the fake approach slash fake ardent, we got them for $12, and you run them until they fall off. I mean, I guess that's what I would do. So we have a takeaway that is a takeaway. This was a Redux. This was technically what do we call them? Retro view, dead views, whatever we call the view of tires you can't buy anymore. Because while you can get an ardent, I don't think you can still get approaches. There might be some NOS sets of pre-glues still on there. Don't try it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Duratrax employs bona fide glue wizards. They are nearly impossible to remove from the wheel. Buy the cheap ones. Buy the cheap fake ones and be happy with it. Or follow me here. Potentially buy something better. You can just buy something better and start from a higher rung on the ladder. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, where we'll be able to have more louder construction noises potentially. And don't worry, they only work 7 days a week. So I will see you in the next one. I am glad that you stopped by the canyon for this one. I hope that in between now and when we meet again, you one and all do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. We will see you next time here from the canyon, whether it be hot or cold, quiet or loud. We're just glad to have you.